Hello, my name is Glaizza, and our topic for today is all about how to write the results. Reporting results. The standard approach to this section of a research article or dissertation is to present and describe the results in a systematic and detailed way. When reporting qualitative results, the researcher will highlight and comment on the themes that emerge from the analysis. These comments will often be illustrated with excerpts from the raw data. In text-based studies, this may comprise quotations from primary sources. In quantitative studies, the results section is likely to consist of tables and figures, and writers comment on the significant data shown in these. This often takes the form of the location or summary statement, which identifies the table or figure and indicates its content, and a highlighting statement or statements, which point out and describe the relevant or significant data. All figures and tables should be numbered and given a title. More elaborate commentary on the results is normally restricted to the discussion section. In research articles, however, authors may comment extensively on their results as they are presented, and it is not uncommon for the results section to be combined with the discussion section under the heading Results and Discussion. Referring back to the research aims or procedures. The first set of questions aimed to compare the difference between simple statistical analysis was used to. The next question asked the informants changes in X and Y were compared using regression analysis was used to predict the to distinguish between these two possibilities. The first set of analyses examined the impact of the correlation between X and Y was tested using t-tests were used to analyze the relationship between the average scores of X and Y were compared in order to assess Z. Repeated measures ANOVAs were used, referring to data in a table or chart. This is the table of the sample data, which shows and contains all of the contents in Table 1, Figure 1. Highlighting significant data in a table or chart. What stands out in the table is closer inspection of the table shows. It is apparent from this table that very few. The most interesting aspect of this graph is, in Figure 10, there is a clear trend of decreasing. What is striking about the figures in this table is, what is interesting about the data in this table is that the differences between X and Y are highlighted in Table 4. From the chart, it can be seen that by far the greatest demand is for. From this data, we can see that Study 2 resulted in the lowest value of. This table is quite revealing in several ways. First, unlike the other tables, from the data in Figure 9, it is apparent that the length of time left between what stands out in this table, chart and figure is the growth of, is the high rate of, is the dominance of, is the wide range of, is the rapid decrease in, is the general pattern of, is the difference between. Stating a positive result. The mean score for X was. Further analysis showed that a two-way ANOVA revealed that, on average, XS was shown to have strong evidence of X was found when this result is significant at ZEP equals 0.05 level. The results, as shown in Table 1, indicate that a positive correlation was found between X and Y. There was a significant positive correlation between the difference between the X and Y groups was significant. There was a significant difference in X. T11 equals to 906 PR. 01. There was a significant difference between the two conditions. Stating a negative result. No increase in X was detected. No difference greater than X was observed. No significant differences were found between. None of these differences was statistically significant. No significant reduction in X was found compared with placebo. No evidence was found for non-linear associations between reporting positive and negative reactions. X occurred with successive increases in Y. Increasing the strength of X led to a reduction in. With successive increases in intensity of the X, the Y moved further too. Following the addition of X, a significant increase P0.05 in the Y was recorded. Combining X with Y did not produce. Stimulation of X with Y did not increase the. Different doses of X showed no measurable effect on. When X cells was stimulated with Y, no significant difference in Z was detected. Highlighting interesting or surprising results. Of interest here is the increase in. Interestingly, the X was observed too. This result is somewhat counterintuitive. Interestingly, this correlation is related to. The more surprising correlation is with the. Surprisingly, only a minority of respondents. The most surprising aspect of the data is in the correlation between X and Y is interesting because the most striking result to emerge from the data is that, interestingly, a significant interaction of X and Y was also observed. It is worth noting that there were also differences in the ratios of. The single most striking observation to emerge from the data comparison was surveys and interviews, reporting response rates. The overall response to the survey was poor. There were 53 responses to the question. 32 individuals returned the questionnaires. The total number of responses for this question was. The response rate was 60% at 6 months and 56% at 12 months. Of the study population, 90 subjects completed and returned the questionnaire. Of 150 patients who were sent invitations, 81 returned the reply slip, of whom 60 agreed to. By the end of the survey period, data had been collected from 64 individuals, 23 of whom were surveys and interviews, reporting proportions. Over half of those surveyed reported that. A minority of participants, 17, indicated that. 70% of those who were interviewed indicated that. Almost 2/3 of the participants, 64, said that. The majority of those who responded to this item felt that. When asked whether, 90% of the respondents reported that. Just over half of those who answered this question reported that. In response to question 1, most of those surveyed indicated that. When the participants were asked, the majority commented that. Of the 148 patients who completed the questionnaire, just over half indicated that. Surveys and interviews, reporting themes. Opinions differed as to whether concerns were expressed about. These views surfaced mainly in relation to concerns regarding X were more widespread. 5 broad themes emerged from the analysis. A common view amongst interviewees was that one concern expressed regarding X was whether. This theme came up, for example, in discussions of the themes of X and Y recurred throughout the dataset. 2 divergent and often conflicting discourses emerged. Issues related to X were not particularly prominent in the interview data. A recurrent theme in the interviews was a sense amongst interviewees that surveys and interviews, reporting participant viz. One interviewee argued that there were some suggestions that, in all cases, the informants reported that there were some negative comments about. Some felt that, while others considered that. This view was echoed by another informant who whilst a minority mentioned that. All agreed that. Only a small number of respondents indicated that. A small number of those interviewed suggested that. For a small number of participants, X was the reason for. The majority of participants agreed with the statement that. When asked about X, the participants were unanimous in the view that. Surveys and interviews, introducing excerpts. As one interviewee put it, one informant reported that. One participant commented. The comment below illustrates. For example, one interviewee said, single quotes. In one case, the participant thought that. Another interviewee, when asked, said, other responses to this question included. Another interviewee alluded to the notion of talking about this issue. An interviewee said, commenting on X, one of the interviewees said, one individual stated that, and another commented. Transition, moving to the next result. If we now turn to further analysis shows that further statistical tests revealed. Further analysis of the data reveals. A comparison of the two results reveals. Turning now to the experimental evidence on comparing the two results, it can be seen that the next section of the survey was concerned with. In the final part of the survey, respondents were asked. Summarizing the results section. These results suggest that. The results also indicate that. Overall, these results indicate that. In summary, these results show that. In summary, for the informants in this study, what emerges from the results reported here is that. Together, these results provide important insights into. Taken together, these results suggest that there is an association between. The results in this chapter indicate that. The next chapter, therefore, moves on to discuss the. This is the end of the report. Thank you.